instead of trading against the broker, you're actually trading against a decentralized pool of liquidity, right? And this pool of liquidity is it's there 24 hours, 7 days of the week, regardless of whatever asset we offer on the platform. You can basically take a speculative trade up or down, and you can earn anywhere from 70% to 400% within a few seconds, all the way up to a few hours, up to a few days. It depends on how you structure the contract.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Crypto Weekly podcast, the show where we interview the top movers and shakers in the crypto industry. Today, I'm joined with the managing director of Spectre.ai, Khemani. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Very good to be on the show.
Likewise, and I'm so happy to interview you. We've got a lot to talk about. But before we get into Spectre.ai, I wanted to take a little bit of a journey back into your past. I know you were an executive director at Goldman Sachs. Can you talk a little bit about how you made the move from the traditional financial world into the crypto scene?
It was a natural move. So we didn't get into digital assets until 2016, 2017. The team that I assembled, which has now grown substantially over the last 10 years, we originally started actually in web tech. We created a product, and I spent my time in banking, in equity research for around 6.5 years or so at JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. There I was also on an investment team in the final year. And so I had quite a bit of experience in that industry. And it didn't interest me that much, especially given what was happening to web tech, Web 2.0. You know, the Apple iTunes, App Store, Facebook, everything was much smaller than it is now, and it's gone gangbusters in the last 10 years. So I wanted to be part of that, and that was really the reason that I chose to kind of leave and become an entrepreneur. Now, obviously, one realizes how little one really is when you actually leave the throes of something like Goldman. You actually realize how difficult the world is, how complicated it is, how many moving parts there are. So we went through our trials and tribulations as a team, as a kind of an entrepreneurship team, and somewhere in 2014, we made the pivot to financial technology. That's kind of our core competence. We started devising trading and risk management algorithms for retail traders. We got into financial education. We found a major gap in the market in a niche part of retail trading. There was a sector that was growing pretty quickly called binary options, and it was completely broken. A lot of fraud. Brokers would take your capital. They wouldn't give it back to you if you were winning. There was fraud with quote feeds. There was fraud with payment service providers. There was fraud all over the place. And we realized that actually the advent of smart contracts kind of coincided as our business then in financial education and technology started to scale. Smart contracts, especially Vitalik, Fabian, Foxteller at Ethereum, 2016, those were the early years of where it became possible to get rid of centralization problems, or at least to reduce them a lot. So with retail trading, there always has been a problem that the broker owns your capital. You send them capital. You trade it generally against their book, what is known as B-book trading. So we had a concept in mind that would remove the broker and allow traders to interact directly with a liquidity pool. Now, that became Uniswap, right? I mean, Uniswap really did what we had originally envisaged, but full credit to them. They did it in a fantastic way, in a completely different way. But what's very interesting to us is the fact that we totally removed the possibility for fraud in Spectre. And today, we have around 105 or 110,000 registered users, a few thousand monthly active users, and that figure is gently ticking up. And we think in crypto it would be very interesting to introduce this product. And it's very different in what it does. It's by no means a mass market product. If you want to buy or sell tokens, you would do so at Coinbase, Kraken, and regulated platforms, even Uniswap decentralized. With us, what we do is something very specific.
Absolutely. And what a great segue into what you're doing with Spectre.ai. On your website, it says you use cutting edge crowdsourced technology. Can you talk a little bit about, what that means?
Very simply put, so generally speaking, if you are trading at a speculative broker, right, that's offering CFDs, that's contract for differences. Those are basically bets, right? Those are basically bets, and you're either betting up or down. That's what a CFD is. You never actually own the underlying asset, right? So although that's fine if you're trading against a very well-capitalized house and they will pay you, because when you win, they lose money. It's very simple, right? This is not the case for 70–80% of brokerages. They will find reasons to withhold your capital, cancel your trades. And we see this specifically in CFDs and binary options still. So what we basically do is, instead of trading against the broker, you're actually trading against a decentralized pool of liquidity, right? And this pool of liquidity is just, it's there 24 hours, 7 days of the week, regardless of whatever asset we offer on the platform. You can basically take a speculative trade up or down, and you can earn anywhere from 70% to 400% within a few seconds, all the way up to a few hours, up to a few days. It depends on how you structure the contract, right? And all of this, or a big portion of this, is actually happening using smart contracts. And you as a trader can decide. If you say, look, I don't trust what Spectre is offering, right? I've been burnt by a range of brokerages. I want to trade 100% decentralized. It's not a problem. You have to KYC with us because we are compliant, right? It is regulated. But besides that, that's where the centralization ends. So once you're done with that, you're basically trading directly against an Ethereum smart contract, if you will, right? Or against another trader if our algorithm can match you. Now, if we had 10 million traders, most likely the liquidity would be better, and so you could trade against other traders. But because the platform is still sort of small to medium sized, the liquidity pool steps in. And that liquidity pool is a few $1 million in size. And so it provides adequate liquidity for the average retail trader. Institutional hedge funds, large players with big books won't find a home in Spectre. This is for your retail trader. Right?
Got it.
And so that's effectively what that pool of decentralized liquidity is. When you withdraw, the funds go to you. There is no one to sit there and say that, oh, well, was that trade correct or not? It's done by a smart contract. Now, if you want to trade semi-centralized or centralized, where you have a bit quicker execution because you know how it is with gas and Ethereum, then we allow you to do that as well. And overwhelmingly, we've seen that traders opt for the centralized option because Spectre's brand is built on ethics. And if you Google us, if you go to our reviews, online reviews, you will see that they're typically 4 out of 5 to 4.5 out of 5 stars, right? And so traders look at that and say, okay, it's a safe place to trade. I don't need to go decentralized. I trust the broker, and that's really important. Long story short, we offer basically 2 venues: decentralized and sort of semi-centralized trading. One is a bit quicker, one has a bit higher payouts because of no gas. And the other is for the people that are, they don't want to have anything to do with us. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we effectively do.
That's great that you say that. And I think that optionality is really important for traders because, we can't be inside the mind of each individual traders, but the more optionality we give them, the better. So you talk about your liquidity pools. Can we, dig a little bit deeper into this? Are the users of Spectre adding liquidity to the protocol, or is it, a Spectre-owned liquidity pool that keeps growing as the user base grows?
It's the latter, and I'm really glad you brought that up because if you look at synthetics, for example, mm-hmm. in synthetics, the book is actually decentralized in the sense that the token holders are actually the other end of the trade, except that it's spread out over thousands and thousands of token holders. But if, for example, a big hedge fund comes, there is a tail risk that if they come with millions, there's no way to stop that. It's fully decentralized, and they could win, and therefore these losses could be absorbed by the masses. Now, that's not happened at Synthetics, and I'm sure that they're very brilliant in figuring out ways around that. But with us, it's very different. So it is exactly what you said. It's the latter. The token holders actually, they just benefit each time a trader trades. A small percentage volume fee goes to token holders, right? Mm-hmm. They don't actually take on book risk. So we have segregated that completely. The book risk is taken on either by the decentralized autonomous liquidity pool, right? And generally speaking, what happens is, as you know, with CFDs is over time, unfortunately, 73% of traders do lose money over time, right? So the few that do make money, they get paid immediately, and that's kind of how the industry works. But over time, the liquidity pool is quote unquote protected in the sense that the averages, the numbers work in favor of it. Now that pool provides the liquidity in the event that there is a shortfall and the algorithm cannot match your long on Euro US dollar versus a short by the same trader at the same expiry. So that's kind of how it effectively how it works.
Got it. Got it. And I think what you're doing with Spectre.ai is crucial for the ecosystem, because the way that I look at it, decentralization is a scale and it happens over time. It doesn't happen overnight. And we need stepping stones to get there, right? We started at full centralization. We will eventually get to decentralization, but we need these stepping stones along the way to help us move in that direction. And I think what's really interesting, if we compare and contrast Spectre.ai to something like Uniswap, is every trade on Uniswap is on chain, which means you have to pay the full gas fees on each trade. Whereas on Spectre, those trades are aggregated, if I'm correct, and then sent to the chain once a day. So that saves a lot in gas fees. If
That's 100% correct. So I would say 95% of the traders, they opt to trade semi-centralized. So there, the trades are aggregated. You're right. We don't have to hit the chain each time. You don't have these expensive Oracle costs, which still haven't come down. And you also don't have the gas costs that you mentioned.
Yeah.
For the decentralized traders, though, the ones that opt to trade using what is known as our decentralized wallet, this effectively, we are hitting the chain each time, right? So that also means slightly slower entry times, a slightly longer expiries. For example, the average semi-centralized trader will take a long on Bitcoin and have an expiry of just 5 seconds or 10 seconds, right? And within that period or a minute, they will basically structure that option in a way that they will get an 85% payout if they're correct, if Bitcoin is higher than when they entered, and they get paid immediately, right? But their trade also registers immediately. With a decentralized wallet, all these processes take a bit more time, right?
Got it.
So that can result in a bit of slippage. But some traders, they don't really mind because they take longer term trades when trading decentralized.
Got it. Got it. And I guess comparing and contrasting some of the other centralized exchanges to Spectre.ai, one of the things I really like about what you guys do is you allow traders to trade directly from their digital wallet. So can you talk a little bit more about that and how that would differ from something like FTX or Binance, where you have to send money into the exchange?
Yeah, so that's exactly the decentralized wallet, right?
Got it. So it's one of the two.
Trading directly, literally from your MetaMask. So you're trading from your Ethereum address. You're trading against the liquidity pool or other traders. You have slightly higher slippage. You are forced to take longer term expirations because the trade needs to get committed to the chain. Obviously, with improvements as Ethereum is moving to 2.0, to proof of stake, and now you also have some bridges, level 2 bridges in place. Our team is working on embracing these technologies so that gap is reduced. But yeah, that's effectively what our decentralized wallet is doing, right? It's allowing traders to they don't have to interact with us at all as a team, and that's obviously good. And I think one point I'd like to make is, I say us, the entire team, Spectre is actually, it's based in Asia. They have a whole outfit there, etc. But in terms of actually trading, the trading is done autonomously. It's done against software.
Got it. And it's more that, so specifically for myself in Canada, and I know there's a lot of other regulatory regimes, but every time you trade a spot asset, you're buying and selling assets, which means there's capital gains. One of the things that's great about Spectre is in most cases, you're not actually buying or selling the underlying asset. So there's no tax implications on those buys and sells. Am I correct?
You're 100% right. So it's a synthetic. You don't own the underlying. There is no T+1 or T+3 settlement, as you would know with traditional brokerages. There is, of course, a tax liability for you at the end of the year when you're declaring taxes. Any income that's generated from financial trading, it falls under that. So it would fall under retail trading, under CFDs. So however you and your country are consolidating, at the end of the year with your accountants, your trading income, it would fall under there. So it's not tax-free, but you're totally right. There is no withholding taxes. There is no dividend taxation. You simply don't own an asset.
Right. Amazing. And from my understanding as well, this is much more than just trading crypto assets. There's Forex, there's precious metals. Can you talk a little bit more about the kind of breadth of synthetics that you have on the platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So We offer right now around, I think, 50 digital assets, cryptos, all of that. That will expand to a few thousand over the next 6 months. So we want to be one of the biggest exchanges in crypto that offers that. But we also offer traditionals. That's where our background is. So a vast array of traditional currencies, which have good volatility, healthy volatility, so traders can get in and out, make a good return in and out very quickly. We offer equities, right? Right now we offer around 20, 30 equities, largely ring fence to the New York market, New York Stock Exchanges, but we're going to expand that to Asia and Europe next year as well. And we also offer reverse futures, which allows you to trade Tesla and stocks like this, but in the past. It's a really strange product. It has a niche take up, but the people that trade it, they love it. So we have quite a few exotics on the platform as well. Soon we're adding orange juice futures and durian futures, so you can also trade those as well. The key differentiator, I would really take some time to address this, is the fact that on our platform, as you said, you don't own anything, and equally at the same time is that gives you the leeway to structure your option, your contract, so that it ends very quickly, right? So for example, if you want to today make a 10x return or a 5x return, you can't do that on Spectre. So, and that's good. So you can go to your pre-sales, and whatever Uniswap deals that are happening. There's many of those, and we urge you to continue that trade safely. If you want to buy and hold a long-term investment, right, in crypto, whatever, you do that on Coinbase, Kraken, regulated exchanges. But if you want to trade short-term volatility, right, and I'm saying 5 seconds, 10 seconds, you want the trade to be over in 3 seconds or 1 minute or 2 minutes, right? You've seen the Euro USD has spiked up on FOMC data. You want to trade the down, the reversion, you would take a put or short on our platform. And if you're right, you earn 90%, 100%, 200%, right? So we focus very much on the short end of the curve. It's really compressing the investment horizons in Spectre. And so these digital assets that we're basically building, we want to offer this digital contract on every asset in the world eventually, right?
Wow. I know in the traditional world, these high frequency trades are oftentimes executed by bots, right? Is there opportunity to, for example, API a trading bot into Spectre.ai to help, work with you and make trades on your behalf?
Yeah, definitely. So we would urge you to go to developers.spectre.ai. There is a vast API. We call it the Hyper API. Quite a few bot developers around the world have already developed applications, auto trading applications, semi-auto trading applications, indicator-based applications that enter and exit trades. Spectre has where we really stand out is our risk management. I won't kind of bore your time, waste your time with this too much, but if you go to the risk management module, you compare to other brokerages, that's where we really stand out. So we have a lot of trade-specific management routines. We have macro routines on the account level. For example, if you have 3 or 4 losses in a row, you can configure the system to log you out for 24 hours, right? So you basically, it stops you from destroying your own account, right?
Got it.
That's why traders destroy accounts. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of our focus on really making sure the trader is safe, because ultimately they are trading a risky asset here.
Absolutely. Yeah, it reminds me of that gambling motto, know your limit, trade within it. And, it's great that a company like Spectre is helping to manage that risk for their clients. Okay, what's next for Spectre? Is there anything on the roadmap that's exciting that you might want to chat about?
Absolutely. So obviously we're expanding our gamut of assets. Right now you have around 80 tradable assets across, as you said, digital assets, equities, commodities, and traditional currencies. We're expanding that to a few thousand. So fast forward next 3 to 6 months, we'll really open it up. We are upgrading our chart packages. We have teamed up with a company in Eastern Europe to really make the experience much smoother, much quicker, also the mobile app. And those will be the major additions to the Spectre platform. So I would urge, of course, people that are watching this, that are interested in this, to go ahead and create a demo account, give the system a whirl, and ease into it.
Awesome. And if they wanted to go set up a demo account and they wanted to just learn more about Spectre.ai, open an account, how would they do so?
You would just go to www www.spectre.ai. You would just sign up and create a demo account. Every account you create is an automatic demo account. You're not asked to deposit money or anything like that. There's no deposit bonuses or any nonsense like that. You just spend as much time on it as you want to learn the system, learn how to trade. There's a full service education academy in there. And when you're ready, that's when you would take the leap. You got to decide if you want to trade decentralized or centralized, and that's it.
Amazing. Well, Kay, thank you so much for joining the show. It was really great chatting with you, and I look forward to seeing what you have in store next for Spectre.ai.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.